All right, Linda. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to do File and New. And I'm going to go over here and press 4500 pixels by 5400 pixels. And then I'm going to type my resolution as 300 because I pretty much want to have like a high resolution for print. You want to do anything above 180. 300 is the best. Um, if we were to look at inches, this comes out to be printed well, beautifully at 15 by 18. You can do 16 by 19 to print, but once you continue to get larger in size, it's going to get fuzzier. Once you continue to go, less in size, it could be 10 by um 13. It's going to look really good, if you as long as you sized it for 15 by 18. I like to do that for any type of posters or anything that you want to eventually print. But whatever size you want to print at, you definitely want to print or make the Photoshop document that particular size so that it won't turn out to be fuzzy. You're going to select RGB color, that's fine. CMYK is what it prints as, but it's okay because we do a lot of digital things to do it in um, football. I'm sorry, I was looking over there. To do it in RGB. 8-bit is good. It'll do a decent image without you having to choose like 16-bit and using up more memory. Transparent background. Don't color manage. We can put working RGB, so this will kind of help us with our colors. But you could also leave it off. But I do this, sometimes just to kind of see if I can get kind of truer to the color. Sometimes things become too orange or too red, and you have to sort of work it to make it look a little bit more like the original with different filters and things like that in Photoshop. And you can just leave square pixels and hit create. You also could go up here and I'm just going to say Linda Catlin doc because as soon as we get started, I do want to save our document. So it's already saved, a copy. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and I actually had already selected downloaded your Dukes of Hazzard. And basically it placed it on the whole page, but it's still probably not going to print out that well. So we want to kind of get some images that will be able to be placed in here. Once we placed it in, you see this little square here. It's not likely going to let you do a whole lot. So we're gonna just right click on that and we're gonna scroll down to rasterize layer. And that's going to give us just a flat image without like any smart objects or anything saying we can't change something. We also can click in here and rename the layer. So I'll say Dukes of Hazzard. And we also can right click here and rename layer. I'm going to click this layer and I'm going to drag it down to this plus sign down here. I'll move this up a little. Drag it down to the plus sign. That's going to make a copy. I always like to keep an original on hand just in case something happens and I have to change back. But what we're looking at here are basic just elements. So I see the Hot Wheels logo, text, little orangey color fading out above a photo. A faded out Confederate flag, a carved Dukes of Hazzard in the air in the woods, text, the logo, tire mark graphic, another logo, the car, and text, another object here with tire mark, logo, logo. So if we can find these objects, we definitely could recreate this or similarly recreate it. But if you're gonna do it for personal use, you can look on Google and print something off. If you're gonna do it for making money in terms of selling, not necessarily selling the project, because you definitely have to pay for your time, but in terms of selling prints or whatever, then you'll need to get some licensing. All right, so let's search Google for our objects. So our first object that we might want to look at could be, and I'm probably gonna try to see over here. So let's see if we can get a Hot Wheels logo high resolution. The reason why I want that is because I want something that's going to print out really well. Generally, a vector logo or a PNG logo is going to give us something really nice. But as you can see, these logos don't have the fire in that. So we can try to keep searching until we can find the fire in it. If we cannot, then we can use one of those. So I'm looking for it by itself because I don't want to have to do like a whole lot of work around that. So here's one with the fire. Okay. Now let's click on that. We're gonna visit and see what they have. So it is clip art. It's showing that it's looks a little fuzzy to me, but we'll go in deeper. All right, so that looks a lot cleaner. Oh, well, no, I'm not a robot. Okay, so that might be like a scam site, but we can just try to see if it'll let us go. Okay. No, let's see. I don't know. Okay. Huh. Okay. Um, so it's just kind of doing something weird. We'll just go back. We won't click on that one. We'll find another one. So basically, you just have to find all of the elements that you need for the object. Okay, so here's something. Let's see. Hot Wheels Vector Store logo. So let's see what this is giving us. So I don't see the logos with the fire yet, but we can keep looking. Okay, so they're selling that one. We don't want that. So, and this is just the process of, kind of trying to make sure that you can get the right images. So if we don't see it, we can say Hot Wheels logo with the fire in it. Okay. So this looks similar. Let's see what that one is. It looks like an eBay logo though. And sometimes you can kind of take the logos off of some of these. I mean, that one just doesn't look as clear, but we'll keep that in mind. So that's really not what we like that to look like. So we'll just say Hot Wheels logo. And sometimes even the high resolution could be something going on. So let's see what this one, because this may give it to us. All right, that's what we're looking for. Okay, so we're here at Logos World. I'm going to download a PNG. Okay, and I'm not going to click download here because, of course, that's a trap. So I'm going to scroll down and see if it's going to let me download the actual image, because these are black and white. And that one's not the same, so I don't know where that's letting us go. Okay, so let's go back. And you know how the internet is. So I'm going to see if I can save as. Okay, no. No. Okay. So what I was looking for right there is just to see if there was any type of logo that would say, the file would say PNG, but it doesn't say that. So it's saying you must click the download button, but that's actually an ad. So all that's in here is an advertisement, and these are the download buttons. But I don't see the one that we're looking for, because that one looks like, yeah, I don't think that's it. Let's look back at our Photoshop document. Yeah, it's a totally different looking logo. So, go back here, and that's not it. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm still going to right click here, and I'm going to save image as. And even though it's 700 by 394, I think that would be fine because the image is not that big. Okay, so I just save that to our downloads, and we'll place this on the top of our document. Downloads. So we did file and place embedded. I'm gonna take my mouse and move this up some here, and click and drag. Okay, and it's gonna keep its same image. So I'm gonna kind of move that over there and press enter. Okay, and if you want, you can take your magnifying glass down in the right hand, in the left, I'm sorry, at the bottom of your tools palette, and that looks okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's definitely not as bad as what was there before. Okay. All right, now let's see if we can find the Dukes of Hazzard logo. So let's go find, let's see, we might be able to find some more stuff on this site here. So let's see if we can find Dukes of Hazzard. Okay. All right. Don't see anything. Let's keep that tab open and just say Dukes of Hazzard logo. All right. Let's look here. All right, so these are decals. I'm going to try to find a PNG. So I'm going to go and scroll scroll down here, it looks like we're looking for something that's like red with a little bit of yellow outline. So we're going to, let's see here. I don't see the red with the yellow. Okay, yeah, I see something here a little bit similar. There's a PNG. Let's see if it'll give it to us. All right. Let's look back and see if it's similar. It's very similar. Okay. It's also a little white back there, so I'm going to show you how to put a little white back there as well. So let's go back to our image here. And so I'm going to look over here. This is still an ad, and this right here is probably the actual download button. Let me just check. Okay, this is an ad too, because you'll see the X and all that. So when you're getting stuff for free, sometimes it can be a little bit aggravating, but we're still looking. Okay, so it looks like it says download the vector file. I don't mind downloading the vector file because that's going to give us something that is probably a little bit more like what we're looking for. And I'll also download this one here, which is the PNG file. And we can pretty much figure out. Now over here, don't click that because that is an ad, but it's downloading automatically for us, okay? So let's go back to Photoshop, and we're gonna go to File, Place Embedded, and we'll look at our Dukes of Hazzard logo. So it doesn't look like it downloaded our vector file, but we'll just kind of play around with it. All right, so here's our logo. We're taking our tool here and we'll put it over the left of this and we'll just drag. We don't even have to click and drag. We're just dragging to see about a size, right? So that looks a little bit different. And so what we can do is we're going to make another copy of this. Click and drag down to copy that. And then I'm going to turn one of the layers off. And I'm going to work with this layer. So I'm going to say Dukes of Hazzard logo play. Or I'll say coloring. Because I want to kind of get it that color. So we'll go up here to image. And if you see, we're actually wanting to get adjustments, but it's grayed out. So we got to come back over here to our layer, right click, and we're going to rasterize it because it's not going to let us do a lot of changes. And if you see that little square over it, you know, that particular one, you know, sometimes it's not going to let you do anything, so you have to rasterize it. Now we can go back to image, adjustments. We'll play around with the little color balance, okay? So let's see, once we click and drag a little bit, if it will do any type of moving. Okay, if you see, it's kind of changing a little bit, but we want more of that solid red. We don't want that tomato looking red, and we don't want the cartoony looking. So let's get in there with our shadows and see what that does. We just kind of play around with it and see. It's a little bit deeper. Okay, I don't really like what that's doing to it. So let me go and try some other things. So I can actually do a little bit of hue saturation, and I can make it a little bit darker, kind of see what it might do. Mm, and that's kind of the thing with Photoshop is you have to kind of play around with it to see what you can do to kind of recolorize. Okay, and then now that makes it a little bit yellow green, so I'm gonna go back to the center, and the center is pretty much 0 on all of these things here. 0 and 0. Okay, so that takes us back to what we were looking at, and we can maybe work on our reds. Let's see. Doesn't look like it's giving us that. So I'm just going to cancel that out. We'll go back and try something else. Image adjustments. And we can do our curves. Let's see if curves would give us. So I'm going to go and place my mouse here. I'm going to click and drag. And if you see, it's giving us a little bit of a different look. So I kind of like that one a little darker. It's kind of a little darker. I think that's about similar. Okay. So we're just clicking along this line here, which gives us some different color tones we can play with. Okay. And then we can do a little bit different with that red. You see, if you can look at that, it kind of gives us something a little bit different. So we're just looking at that top image, trying to stay a little close. All right, looks like we might be a little close to what that is. So we'll click OK for that. And we're gonna just click this and move it up some. It's looking very similar. Has a little bit more yellow in this one, but what we'll do is we'll go up to our, let's see, our layer, or I think we'll do our layer options. So I might come over here to click on the layer, right click it, and let's see if we have anything over there. No, we'll go back up to layer and layer style. Okay, so right now it looks like we have like a drop shadow. We're gonna see if we can get an outer glow of white. Okay, and if you see it just kind of popped up for us there. If you see that, it's kind of popping up. And this is screen, outer glow, and screen. And we can add a little noise, but that's gonna make it a little fuzzy looking. So let's try some different options. If we do normal, when we do a spread, if you see it, it looks like it kind of is like that. And let's take our opacity down here just a little bit. Just a little bit. And we'll make the size a little bit smaller. Okay. And we're doing good here with our look of it. So we'll click OK. And I'm going to layer that right over there. Okay, now what else do we need? We need a tire mark. So that's pretty like interesting looking. So I'm not sure how we're going to necessarily do, but since we're satisfied with our other layers, I'm going to pull everything that we're not using or additional copies of down below. So now we want to look for our tire marks, and we can use that same tire mark for this one too. So let's go, we'll find a PNG tire mark. So we've got a variety here, but it's not gonna probably look exactly the same, but we can get close. So let's look back at our Photoshop image. So the tread is a little like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to find something that looks similar to those tread marks. See what these are. And those are too perfect looking. No. Okay. Yeah, so we want it to be a little kind of like, worn a little bit. Here's a nice one. And we want to try to see what we can get for free download. So our tire tracks. There's some on free pick. And let's look back at our Dukes of Hazzard. Okay, so still kind of worn looking, but still not as worn as that. Um, so we kind of want a little bit of a grunge look. So we might use this one. Something that looked kind of like a Dukes of Hazzard car is what we would really prefer. Um, we definitely don't want it to fade out on the edges. So there's quite a few little things you want to look for. Um, in graphics, just takes a little while, a little bit of patience, but you're getting there. While we're doing that, I'm going to click back over quickly and save our document just in case something changes. So I'm going to change that and see here. Okay, I'll go back to this one. It's a little bit closer to what we're looking for. So I'm going to visit and see if we can download this via free pick. Sometimes you have to pay for free pick. And sometimes you can get some images for free, just depending upon what it is. Okay, so there's all types of treads here. Um, so, and even for some, like for these, we could make it more solid. Like we could just, um, take off the parts of the sides. Um, This one looks very, very similar, but I don't know if that image is together or separate, which it looks like it may be just one solid, but we'll try. Let's see if it'll do a black background removal, because if not, it's gonna, oh, nah. Okay, let's go back. Um, we just want to get something that's gonna be very similar to what you have so that it won't take away from the overall image. So let me see if I can find free tire tracks PNG Dukes of Hazzard. I don't know if they would have that because it's probably not Dukes of Hazzard tire prints, but we'll just try something similar to that. We'll go here. All right, so that looks a little messy. We don't like those, okay? Let's see, all of these are free to download here, which is good. We want something more solid, not just like parts of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we may be able to use this, but um, see. That looks okay. We do want it to look a little natural though. That looks very computery. So it does make a difference, when you're um doing the graphics. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see. I might be able to use something like this where it has the distressed look. I know I'm spending a lot of time on it, but a lot of times it does like make a difference in what something looks like if you don't pick like the right graphics for it. All right, here's a nice little selection. So we'll pick something from here. I'm going to download the whole PNG. I'm going to overlay it. Okay. And I have to view a short ad. Okay. Click the X. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. Um, I just want to make sure because this looks like an ad. All right, so we're going to click the alphabets in order. So it's 8ER @ Okay, and it'll let us download it. Okay, so it downloaded. We'll overlay that and just see what something kind of looks like. So let's place embedded. All right, it's going to give us all of them. So if you notice, we can't really see it. So we got to bring it up here. All right, so it doesn't have a white background, but we can kind of see what we might want to use. I think maybe we could use Could use this one since it kind of has the arrow. So we want to right click, rasterize layer because it wouldn't let you cut. We're just gonna cut this out. So we're gonna select our little polygonal lasso tool here, and we're gonna click, 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 like we're outlining it. Click, click, click. Okay. Then we want to go to edit and cut, edit, paste. Yay. Now we want to turn the eye off that and click this link down up under here because we can come back here if we need these files. I like to put files that I have extra copies of underneath the bottom so we're not distracted. We're going to click tire marks. Why do we want to name our layers? Because sometimes it gets a little bit confusing. So now we're still on that tool. So I'm going to go back and click on our selection tool, our move tool. I'm back over here to our palette. And we want to kind of transform and rotate. All right. We can make it slightly bigger. So I'm going to click enter and then edit, transform, scale. I'm just going to click that. And if you notice, there are those tire tracks. Now, we also have a little bit of like white behind that, right? So let's go back up to layer style, outer glow. Ooh, it's very similar. So it's kind of like not as stark white. So we're gonna lower our opacity. Okay. And we'll lower our size a little bit. Okay. And we'll make a little bit more opacity so we can have a little spread and click OK. All right, so I think that looks very similar. Now it's on top of our Dukes of Hazzard, so we're gonna bring it below, click and drag below the logo. All right, now here's where I'm gonna introduce some rulers because I want to keep my size and all that like in place. So I'm going to hit Control R and we're going to click over here in the far left. We're going to bring this in. Okay. Click on the far left again. We're going to click and drag our ruler lines. Click at the top, bring it down. Click at the top, bring it down. All right. So anything that's outside of here, it will get cut. And we're going to end up cropping this later and all that, and you'll have a template, but we just kind of want to have something that, looks like that. And we also are going to come down here and we're going to do like a nice little cut, but let's get our other big elements in first, and then we can get our small ones. So let's go find the Dukes of Hazzard, car in the air, and then that car and the Confederate flag. So I'll do all three of those. Dukes of Hazzard, images, car in the air. All right. We have several, but let's see if we can find the one that's on there. Ooh, that looks like it to me. Let's see if we can visit that page. All right, that's a decent looking one. Let's see if we can either explore that a little bit more or see if we can make sure we get it high res. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to click save image as Dukes. Let's see, download. Dukes of Hazzard are in the air. Okay. I'm going to file and we're going to place that car back there. Ooh. Now, I'm going to do my opacity over here so I can kind of make sure that we're getting it the size good. Gonna click over here because when it has that X on there, it's kind of like, are you sure? Is this where you want it to go? Blah, blah. Okay. So click and drag that. You don't have to push shift now. And that's relatively right over that car. Yeah, relatively it. Okay. Let's click enter. And we'll just kind of lessen our opacity on that for now, just for now. Okay. I'm going to right click again and rasterize that layer. I need to find that car in that position. So let me go back and find the General Lee car. Dukes of Hazzard car. Let's see. We needed to have a little cat corner look and then the tail. So I don't see that. That's not the actual car. Mm, Hmm. Let's see back. All right, that's giving us a better option here. Okay, that's kind of something nice. We want that cat corner angle and the full car is what we're looking for. Flip it up like that a little bit. Let's look back over here. Let's see, we're looking for that and that tire kind of going that way. It may be a little challenging to find that, but we'll keep looking, especially with the tire going to the left. Um, so we'll look at that. That is an option, but that's somebody else's car. Um, General Lee car back. All right. Um, this right here is the closest that we found. Let's just keep looking. I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna close up our tire marks and these other images here on the logo. All right. Hmm. Let's see. What does that angle look like? And it looks like it's got to have that flag at the top, and we don't see that there. I'm still gonna just take this one and we'll see what what. Now this is a photo credit, so I definitely wouldn't take um this anywhere past, and it's getting a little fuzzy, but we can at least look at it. So it's probably going to require that we remove the background, and there is an app called Remove Background that makes it a lot easier, as well as Canva does removable backgrounds too. So um side and back. Um, this actually looks a lot better. I mean, lot more like it, but that's not the same car looking. So, with the yeah, the a little dirty. So, just for time's sake, I'm going to go with what we did find over there, and you'll have to probably keep looking for, the picture with the car to the side. I mean, the tire to the side if if it has to be exact. All right, so we're gonna place that image that we had there. Like I said, it does look kind of similar, but the tire on on that one, I'm gonna take my opacity down so that I won't do what's weird with that car. Okay. So we want to make sure the sizing is about right. Okay. Now, I'm gonna also rotate it a little bit to kind of give it that look. Okay. And then that there. All right. I'm also gonna click and drag and copy that layer. And I'm gonna drag one up under here because I don't want to use that, but I want to keep a copy. Click back up here, right click, and go to rasterize layer. All right, so now here I'm gonna try Photoshop's new background removal. But if you notice, it's really not kind of giving us something too good here. So I may do the remove background just for time. So remove BG. And what this is, it's like a free image background remover. I have started to use this a lot because it just makes it a whole lot easier to deal with. All right, it did great. Okay, and of course it doesn't have that on there, so I could try to go on there and remove that and we'll look at it, but I'm gonna just have to download the free version for now. We'll go back over here and I'm gonna file, place embedded, generally, and I'm just gonna click and drag that over. It's about the same size. I'm gonna click enter and I'm gonna rotate. Transform, edit, transform, rotate. Here, click enter, and I'm gonna move that over. All right, now I can move that back down below here, and we are looking good. All right, now we'll have to get that little element, which is actually it's probably like a rectangle that is blue. So I clicked, I'm sorry. I clicked the square and I'm going from the top to the bottom here. And I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna go over here and I'm going to click on my eyedropper tool. I'm gonna get a drop color of that blue. That blue is over here. I'm gonna click my paint bucket and I'm gonna dip it in there. Okay, so you didn't see it, but it was supposed to feel. So it filled. Now, I definitely want to take this square and select outside of that line because we're gonna delete that. Okay. I'm gonna take this layer here, click it, click opacity, and go down here. Now, we do see we have to cut at an angle. So before I do that though, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to copy my tire mark. I'm going to take off the outer glow. I'm going to go to File, Edit, Rotate. Okay. I'm going to rotate it around. I'm going to put it on top of the blue. So I have to move that layer up here. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because it looks like those tire marks were slightly smaller. I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to make sure all the blue is covered. And then I'm going to click off these layers and see what it looks like. So it does have a little bit of outer glow on it. Now, I'm not going to merge these layers yet, but I am going to cut around. So I'm just going to take that little square. I'm going to go along the side here, and I'm going to cut that tire mark. I'm going to take this square, go alongside here and cut that tire mark. Go bump up against that blue, cut the tire mark. Draw another one. These, all I'm doing is clicking and dragging. Cut the tire mark. Okay. Now, we want to get that angle. So we're gonna go click our polygonal lasso tool. Our most important thing is this angle here. Everything else doesn't matter. So we can just kind of draw free draw until we click back on the end of that and we've made what cut we need to make. So we're gonna turn our tire mark on and make that cut. We're gonna turn our blue on and make that cut. We're gonna control delete. And it looks like the tire marks are still black and there's a little bit of an outer glow. That's too much. We're gonna drag that opacity down. And that's looking a whole lot like what we had. Okay. All right, now we want to make sure the size is still small. So that we're gonna drag our opacity down and we're gonna click that layer there. We want to get rid of a little bit of that blue there. Get a little bit of that tire mark there. And we're good. All right. We can also go ahead and clean up our tire mark here, but I'm going to leave that since that's such a big dramatic across the page. I want to make sure that it's the right place and right size. Okay, so let's click all of that off and let's click this tire mark off. Okay, so it's bumping up against that and we'll do it like this. All right, so now we just need our Confederate flag. I'm also gonna right click on this general car. I'm gonna right click again and rasterize. Then I next need our, looks like I need a Confederate flag. Okay, so let me go and find Confederate flag PNG. We need it to kind of be flat. So let's go to our images. And here's one Adobe stock, but that's going to charge us. I do have an Adobe thing, so it won't really charge us. But I try to use free for people that I'm teaching so that you can pretty much know. So we need one flat. And we need it kind of looking a little bit like that. So let's look and see what we got. Okay. So that's all right. We can use a regular Confederate. Okay. So if not, I'll go get that from there. But we can try our Wikipedia help. I'm right clicking that, save image as Confederate flag. Okay. All right. Let's go back to our Photoshop document. We've got to make that flag cover the whole page. Gonna do File, Place Embedded. Click that Confederate flag and place it. And we definitely want to click a shift here to make sure it's a direct 90-degree angle as we rotate. Click it while you're rotating. Edit, transform, rotate. Edit, transform, rotate. And click that shift to make sure it's a 90-degree. Edit, transform, scale. We want to scale up. Looking about that size. Let's see, we want those lines to kind of line up over there and lines to kind of line up there. All right. So we want to maybe stretch it out just a little bit. So we're going to click shift and we're going to have a little bit of manipulation with it to make sure these lines line up good. All right. And then we're going to bring it on out. And we're going to bring it on out. And we want to make sure we go outside of these lines here. Keep it good. All right. I'm going to right click that, rasterize it, take my opacity down. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to drag that all the way down up under to get my extra layers that I was talking about. Okay. Now let's do our opacity here. Okay, so we have a lot of our main elements, and this is where you're going to want to go ahead and start with the feathering out and all of that. So since our Dukes of Hazzard car is in the air, we just kind of want to make sure we have another of that one because we're going to have to feather some stuff. So we're going to click and copy that. And you by all means can like use only the copies down there, right? Like just the copies. So it looks a little mess right now, but we're getting there. Well, before I start doing the feathering, let me go ahead and see if I can get these little logos and things here. Real Riders logo. And it looks like that tire mark kind of turns into red down here, so we'll get that too. Real Riders logo. Real Riders. Let's see what it looks like again. Real Riders and then a red and okay. Real Riders and a red. Okay, so that's about it right there. Yeah, so let's do PNG. See if we can get the logo by itself. If not, we'll take it off something and keep it moving. All right, looks like we're gonna have to just take it off something. So I'm gonna copy that actually, and I'm just gonna paste it because it is actually a very small logo. So we're not really looking at like, oh, it's gotta have this great resolution. So I copied and pasted that. Transform, scale. I'm gonna scale it up just a little bit. Bring it over that and do my opacity. This is where I'm going to have to get that magnifying glass over there down at the bottom of the tools. Click, 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 click. Scroll up, click, click, click. Okay. Click on our move tool again. I'm going to move it over there. And we're going to click enter and make sure that everything's there. Okay, so we are going to want to isolate this logo. So I'm going to click that circle again, isolate, click that again, Isolate, get all of the, so we don't want to cut into our white. So if we see here's a tad bit of a rotation, we can either leave that or see if it'll give us a clean cut. It may not. We'll see. So it's giving us a little bit of a clean cut. We'll see. If I keep deleting that like that, it's gonna kind of give us a little nasty looking edge. So we're gonna take our polygonal lasso tool. That helps us to conform to the shapes. We're clicking and dragging, polygonal lasso tool still to delete all the nasty looking stuff. We're gonna click our magnifying glass again, and we're gonna come around here. I'm gonna kind of draw a circle to see if I can get a nice clean edge. Click and draw a circle. I'm gonna do select and transform selection and see if I can shift and move this circle around the way that I kind of like it. All right. Then I'm actually gonna see if it will let me do like a transform selection. I'm gonna do, actually, I did Control-0. I'm gonna try to get back here because I'm gonna try to transform this selection to select all of that where I could deselect all of that. So transform selection. I'm gonna click on the square, rectangular, I'm sorry. Hold down my shift key and I'm gonna see if I can add to this. Okay, it subtracted. So I'm gonna do Alt and see if it'll, okay. So I have to hold down the Alt key as I'm clicking and dragging, okay? What I want to do is also do a cut from here. All right. Didn't give it to us too clean, but it did get really clean. So what I'm going to do here, we're going in a little bit more, and I'm going to draw another circle. And this is that perfectionist thing, but this will help when you're trying to make sure that you get it right. I'm going to do select transform selection, and I'm going to hold down my shift and let it see if it'll let me get something a little bit better. All right, perfect. Okay, and I'm going to click enter, Control-0. And because I already know what I'm looking at, I'm just going to click Alt and add again to that. Oh my goodness, I didn't do it. Okay, let me go back. Select, transform selection. Hold on. So now we got to scroll in again. That's Photoshop for you. Select, transform selection. Click that selector thing. And we want to get the whole logo in. So let's click. Okay, that time it was shift. So sometimes you have to click shift and sometimes alt. I actually don't remember which one. We're going to cut, edit, cut, and we're going to edit and paste. All right. I'm going to delete that other layer that we were working on that had the little rest of that little corner. And I'm going to move it down. Click the move tool and move that down. So that's relatively what we want. Of course, we can clean that up just a little bit more if we want to. We can move in a little bit and do our polygonal lasso and kind of get a little bit of that green off. The average person isn't looking at that, but designers are a little bit, you know, we're a little bit anal about some things. So, you know, because we know like you may not see it, but then your brain sometimes like registers it all. So I won't like worry too much about it, but yeah. All right, so then I'm gonna click that. Let's see. Kind of looks like I'm gonna draw a rectangular line to get the lines that I need here. I'm gonna take my eyedropper tool and select color. I'm gonna create a new layer there. I'm gonna go to my paint bucket and fill it. Okay. All right, and then the next one is gonna be, I'm just gonna actually click and drag because I can copy that. Click my move tool, click down there, click my eyedropper, click on that yellowy gold, the goldish or orange color, go to layer, layer style, color overlay, click on normal, click inside that box there, and also click in there. And it turned it orange for me. Now, this is a perfect circle. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to hit shift. I'm going to make that circle there. I'm going to click over to the right a little bit. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to go and select my paint tool. Well, select my eyedropper tool. Make sure I have the orange. Select my paint bucket and slap it in there. Okay. Now, this is our orange circle. This is our orange line. This is our yellow line. Okay. We're actually almost done. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that on that yellow line up top. I'm going to move it down some there. I'm going to move that orange line up some and we can kind of click, shift, click, still holding down shift, and we can move our opacity so we can see what that is all at one time. Okay. Our tire mark that is down here, that's here. We can go up here and just kind of make sure that it's laying over what's at the bottom. So at the bottom, there's like this solid looking red. We're going to click and drag across there. We can bring that down just a little bit, make a new layer, select my eyedropper, test that color, go to my paint bucket, fill it, Control D. Tomato red. I'll just say red layer at the bottom. Okay. All right, let's see. What else are we looking for? I don't know what that logo is. Something luxury? Okay. And I don't think it had that little thing on the back. Let me see if it had that antenna on the back. It did not. So I'm going to still copy and paste another one. I'm just going to take that off because I may not have to have that. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to have to rubber stamp a little bit. So a polygonal lasso tool, I'm going to select that and get rid of the top part of that. But right there in the window, I'm going to have to kind of play around with that and that. So I'm going to take the polygonal lasso just to do a selection. And this sometimes is a hit or miss. So I'm going to click Alt, click, and then try to give me, you just kind of have to click around to try to see if you can blend in that, and that's kind of giving a really off looking image, so I'm not sure how that's going to look. And sometimes you just have to go to your history palette, window, history, and this is the clone stamp, so I'm going to go back here. All right, so I'm going to clone inside of there, which means I'll click, and I'm just going to see if I can get rid of that white in there. And it's still looking a little bit weird, but I might have to blur that. So I'm going to come down to my dodge tool. I mean, my blur tool here. And go up here and click your brush size. I'm going to make it a little bit large. And I'm going to click and blur it a little bit so it can't be that visible. And okay. So I'm gonna come back over here. It's really more like that color. So I'm still gonna do my rubber stamp. I'm gonna Alt and click out here, and then I don't know why it's kind of giving me like a lighter color. Although up here everything is normal mode. But I may make my hardness a little bit more instead of softer. Still giving me that. Sorry. Still giving me that little other tone, but really it's supposed to collect the color here. So it's probably gonna be okay to leave that there for now. I would definitely need to work on that a little bit more. And um I mean, it literally is giving me, okay, so it may be doing something more over there. And sometimes with these things, I just have to keep playing with it until it gives me like what I'm looking for. It literally took like right now it's like doing the opposite. I'm not sure why it's kind of doing something different, but I hit unalign to see because sometimes Photoshop um changes functions of things before really letting everybody know. And then we're all like finding out stuff as we go. So I'm clicking and dragging that just to try to get rid of like the other things. I'm going to click on my blur tool and see if I can blur that out some to where it's not looking so bad. Sorry. So I want to smooth that out there. Oh, wait. Sometimes you have to click really small areas in order to kind of smooth it out. I'm just hitting Alt and click, and then we'll try to, let's get our dodge tool. Let's see if we can right click on our dodge tool and get it to kind of go a little bit darker. Oh, too much exposure. Not good. All right, so that didn't give us what we look for. So we'll go back over to our history tool. Click back on our history. Then I click blur. I'm just gonna blur that out some. Gonna strengthen it a little bit. Strengthen that blur. And then now it's not as bad looking. It looks like it's kind of something in the like in the window. So I'm clicking and running the mouse over it. I'm also going to come back over here to my rubber stamp tool again and see what I can do to kind of, nope, don't want to have those little lines looking like in the window. Sometimes you can mess with it too much. So I'm clicking and dragging across. Okay. And so, and that may be something to come back to. I'm just kind of trying to hurry. Sometimes it's taking me hours to, perfect something. And I just keep working at it until I can perfect it. And so then we'll try to blur. I might see if I can smudge it a little bit. Give me a bigger brush. Strengthen it a little, and then we'll just kind of smudge a little bit. And that way, we kind of smudge it out. Where it's just kind of looking like a nice little image here. Okay. Looks a little bit more natural that way. Okay. So, all right. So back here, and I know that's gonna like stand out now, but just kind of know that other people aren't looking at it as much as you are. Or you may not be, it may be just me, but yeah. So let's go and kind of get our fonts. So this font here is really like a bubbly looking font. As you click your type tool, of course, it's going to um, give you a new layer. So we want to do window character so we can get our font palette, and let's see if we can change the color so we can kind of get what we're trying to type out. And honestly, this font is gonna be probably a little bit more something like Cooper Standard. So it may be like that, it may not be, but we'll see. It looks very similar. All right, so let's zoom in there. And the letters are further apart than these are. So I'm gonna do something called the kerning. I'm gonna change the kerning to -21. Move it in just a little bit. -27. Sorry, -27. All right, and that may be okay because I need to put a black outline. So let's do 17 font. It's a little bit smaller. Let's do 31. Okay. 27. 24. Okay. That's looking a little bit like 24. We'll select that yellow. Now, adventure is probably that kind, that color. And we can go up to layer, layer style, stroke it. Okay. So we don't want to overlay our fields. So we're gonna just only do a stroke of, okay, so it's making us pick color to fill it. No problem. We'll pick that yellow again. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? That's the stroke color. Sorry. We need it to be black. And we're gonna make it more like a stroke color. So we're gonna move it here. We're gonna position it outside. So we want to move our size up just a little bit. All right, that's looking more like it. So Control-0, let's look back. And we can actually use this same one. We don't have to keep doing that. You know, that's like a little hack. Ages, 32103. Okay, space that out. Space that out. Space that out a little bit. All right, let's go up there. And that yellow is looking a little different. So we'll make that change. We'll make it a little bit more like that yellow. All right. Let's see here. 21 maybe? Let's go down. Okay. 20. Yeah. Control-0. And let's see what was back there in the back. I'm just gonna bring this up because I don't want to move our template looking image so I can see guaranteed for life. Okay, and that's in white. We can copy that, duplicate that layer. Guaranteed for life. We're gonna make that white. Make it white. All right, let's move that over there. And that's spaced out a little bit more. So let's do, looks like the E's are still the same size. It's just spaced out more. So looks like it's actually the word spaced out. Okay. And it is. And we won't worry about too much with that. Okay. All right. So I think we're down to whatever this luxury logo is. And maybe a Hot Wheels 50th logo. So let's do a save. We did a lot before saving. So let's see. Hot Wheels 50th logo. All right, there's the 50, but the Hot Wheels was actually at the top. Okay. That's more like what we saw. So I'm going to take that one. Now this looks bigger. This looks like it's going to give me a little bit more of clarity. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can take that photo. I may have to screenshot it. It may not let me save it. Oh, it may. Save image as. Let's see. Hot Wheels 50th anniversary logo. But the Hot Wheels is cut off, so that's not really what I'm looking for. Okay. So, I'd rather do that one. Hopefully it will give it to me. Yay, that's awesome. All right, save image as Hot Wheels 50th anniversary logo and save it. All right, now, see, click off that, click off that, and we're back over here. And we're gonna place it down at the bottom, place embedded. Now, because it has these streaks here, I really am gonna go back to remove BG. So because those streaks, I don't want that to be left out. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna upload that Hot Wheels and see if it'll take all of that other stuff from around it. I am hoping so. I hope it leaves the streaks. And it did. Wonderful and perfect. Okay, let's download a free preview. All right, so I'm gonna click off that, and that goes down there with our other copies. And let's get the top one too. That goes down there with our other copies. All right, and I'm gonna go File, Place Embedded. We're going to place that Hot Wheels anniversary logo down there. We're going to move it up some because it's got to be like really at the top. And then it's got to be over our Confederate flag too. I'm going to right click, rasterize layer, and I'm going to bring it down here. So now this is where we work on our layers and all that. Now, I'm going to also make another copy, click and drag our original down there, scroll back up, click on Hot Wheels, and let's get it in its right place. All right, so we want to get it down and down. All right, it's looking more like it. Okay. Now the orange circle that we did, we really don't even have to have. Well, yeah, we do. I'm sorry. It looks like we might have to have that. Okay, so we can move our orange circle a little bit more over here. We can move our yellow line and kind of scale it down. So we're gonna have to move that there and kind of make that more like that. All right, the reason we have to press the, sorry, orange line. The reason why we have to press the shift is because it may make it all the way small and we just need to make it thinner. Just thinner. Okay. All right, and then that's our bottom layer. I think we are there. So, oh, the luxury. I don't know what that is. Um, Let me try. Is it Dukes of Hazzard Luxury? Logo? I don't know what that is. Is it Hot Wheels Luxury? Huh. Okay. Not sure what that is, but we're just gonna go with what we have here. So I'm gonna do file save. Now, here's my trick to save myself. I save a copy since I've got everything kind of like where I want it. I'm gonna save a copy. Okay, and this is me working over here. I'm gonna close that up. I'm gonna open here and click my original. All right, now, there is like a little feather up here, which is like the little blur that you see. And it looks like a little orangey color over the Confederate flag as well. So I'm gonna actually draw a little orange up here. And I'm gonna select that. I'm gonna fill that in. Okay. Now, I'm gonna take my opacity down, but I'm going to take the lasso tool, the free lasso tool, and I'm gonna go up here because it looks like that's how the feather is shaped. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. All right, so we did draw a double of the Dukes of Hazzard in the air copy. I'm just gonna make another copy just quickly. I'm gonna go to select, modify, and feather. I don't know what kind of feather it is, but we'll figure out as we go. So it could be a 91 feather. Let's see. Maybe a 91 feather. Okay. Control D. Probably a 91 feather. Okay. So now we get to going ahead to delete that other image so we can create what we're looking for. So I'm going to turn up everything. Okay, it didn't select that one. Sorry. I'm going to turn, that's the feather. Okay, so hopefully that feather worked out. If it didn't, we'll have to move that copy back up. Okay. Now, this is the orange. And we'll make it, pull that in the back. Now we have to just kind of go and redo our layers here. So I'm going to pull that to the back. I'm going to pull that Hot Wheels logo up to the front. I'm going to put our Confederate flag in the back. Now it's cutting off. Okay. So that's that thing we want to remove and pull that down there. Okay. And looks like we might want to extend our orange back down towards the bottom, maybe. I have to look and see. So I'm holding my shift down so I can come down here. And this part down here may be a little bit lighter. I'm not sure. But if so, it's fine. We'll lighten the opacity of it. Okay. All right, and then we kind of needed our tire marks to also be we'll move the tire in the car up here a little bit more. And we needed that those tire marks to be over that, but it looks like it's giving us like a little bit more down here. So I'll actually use this one and I'll cut it a little bit. I'll do a copy. I'm sorry. I'll make a copy. I'll cut it. Uh-oh. I am on that layer. Oh, no wonder. I'm on the wrong layer. So I'll click Move Tool, right click, Tire Marks. Okay, so perfect. All right, so we'll move that up some. And I need to move those tire marks back down. Or up, I'm sorry. I think it has to go over the, yeah, it's got to go over the picture. Okay, I need to make sure that that is, I'm going to have to go back and look at. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull that way at the top. Okay, so it's feathered out there too. Okay, and that car color looks like it's got a little bit of overlay. And it is actually darker down there. So let me see what I can do. I might have to make that more of like a darker black color. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay. And then I can actually get rid of that big old, um, sorry, big Hot Wheels anniversary logo. Bring that down to the bottom and turn the light up. I mean, turn the light up. Turn the color off that. Okay. So it is looking like I'm gonna need to get a copy of those tire marks there and let it go over. Okay. Not before we make a copy of it. Copy, paste. Okay. So I'm gonna delete the one we were using and just get this one. Go to our select tool and move that down a little bit. And I don't know if that was white. Oh, it was black over there too. So it's the same outer glow, tire marks, outer glow. Outer glow. Okay. Okay, and now try to clean this up a little bit. So I'm selecting around there. I'm selecting around here. So I'm gonna just go and take my move tool, right click, red layer at bottom. I'm actually gonna move this just a little bit so it can give me some more off the edge there. And then, uh-oh. I can move copy too. Okay, and I'm just gonna go along this edge. I'm gonna select this big old bar. And I'm just gonna start deleting. So red layer at bottom, orange and yellow line. Okay, tire marks. So I'm just trying to right click and it won't let me. So why it keeps doing that. And then Dukes of Hazzard, image in the air. And then off the top there, that's that Confederate flag. And it's also the Confederate flag over here. All right, so we wanted to make sure that was cleaned up over there, right? We're also going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. Select, we're going to move that selection with our right arrow closer. So we're going to deselect that. We're going to clean up that Confederate flag. We're going to clean up those tire marks. Uh-oh, wrong one. Get it together, Chrissy. All right, click on that and see. Let's see where our line is, our yellow line, our orange line. Hot Wheels logo, we're gonna have to rasterize that to get rid of those little edges. Sorry, 50th anniversary logo. Okay, sorry. Okay, we want to, I think that's everything. Oh, looks like, what is that over there? Looks like it's, let me click my, okay. So let me see if I can get rid of the orange over there. Clean that up. Yay. Okay. I think we're looking good here. So I'm gonna move my blue up above here. Oh, what happened to my blue? Let's see, is that it? Nope, that's our real Riders logo. Okay, hopefully I did not delete the blue. I didn't. Okay, it was just out of sight. Okay, and then I think our real Riders was up at the top. And then, so I guess I'm trying to figure out, did the blue not get down here or something? Let's see what was going on there. So it went all the way down there and custom one of one. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Now that looked like, that actually looks like impact. So let me see if I have impact font. Impact particular. All right, let me go to edit. I'm sorry. I have to actually go to edit and transform, but it won't do that. So I'm going to have to go to rotate. The reason it won't do that is because it's a text and it doesn't like to rotate text. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit tired, so I'm just kind of like forgetting which thing to select and rotate my selection. Let's see. Image rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise. Oh, not that image. It's just a layer. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna deselect while I'm doing that. Okay. Edit. Okay, I'm sorry. The reason why I didn't do it was because I had the layer selected. I mean, I had, yeah, the select, or what they call the marching ants. They called these the marching ants. So funny. When I was in school, that was really funny. All right, and so custom one of one, we'll move that down. It looks like it's a little bit different color yellow. It may not exactly be impact, but it's close. I do see that that's spaced out. The F and the 1 are spaced out a little bit more. Okay. Let's do 39 to make that a little bit more like that. Okay. And I think we're there. All right, so looks like you got a good template. See, turn this off, and I'm gonna need to move the blue in the tire in front of General Lee's car. The blue in the tire marks. I'm doing a recording now. Let me just move this down just a little bit. We can work with it just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna also feather this out just a tad bit on the bottom. This is me just kind of doing a little bit extra work. So I'm gonna try to feather that out just a little bit. So it won't be a hard edge. Select modify feather. I'm gonna do a tone. Okay. So I don't think I probably needed to feather the other part, but that's okay. Let's see what's behind there. We can delete that. Perfect. Okay. And let's try to crop it down. So we're going to do image, crop. We cropped it down a little bit more. And I need to turn up my orange line and yellow line to 100%. And it's looking a whole lot more like what it should be. I just need to move this Hot Wheels logo, the blue and the tire marks down just a little bit. I'm gonna cut the tire mark off there just to give it a clean edge. I'm gonna move the custom 101 down just a little bit. And I think we're done. So then I'm gonna put a white background down there just to see what everything looks like. So it's behind that. I'm gonna go over here to my palette. It's white there. Click on my paint, fill it in, and there we are. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save that. And I'm gonna make a final copy. And that, in that final copy, I'm gonna get rid of all of my other layers and things that are invisible to clean up so that when we do hand it off, it looks great. Can be used as an actual template. Okay, so I'm going to put the final copy and I'm going to give you the other one as well. And down here, though, we need to clean that up a little bit because it's a little bit two-toned. So I'm going to look at this for what it is. I think I'm going to take that off and take that off and take those off. So I just kind of am trying to delete the unsightly parts, but I'm actually gonna draw that out with that lasso tool. You just have to be real careful here. Sometimes you have to do it in sections, and that's just kind of cleaning up the image and also cleaning up this stuff here because it's just from the print that I mean from the part where it did not cut that part out. So I'm just gonna move that up slightly because I don't need to get inside of there. Need to be careful right there. Okay, and then like I said, sometimes you have to do it in segments just to clean it. All right, so getting rid of that two-tone over there. This is a little bit outside of here, and sometimes in graphics you do want to go back and check your edges, make sure everything's good. And there we go. There we go. All right, I will send you this document. All right, I'm gonna send you the document. I'm sorry, I had somebody to come in, they interrupted, and then I had to press pause. Um, so what I did, I just cleaned up a lot around here, and I'm so sorry that it clicked out, but I cleaned up a lot around the logo. Um, but I'm gonna also come back here and try to make that a solid. All right, looks better. Ooh, let's see, looks like I kind of have something going on with that Hot Wheels logo, so I need to fix that. Um, Okay, so what I did, I went to go get another Hot Wheels logo, and I'm just taking my magic wand tool and I'm selecting around it and pressing delete so that I can replace this little logo here. That kind of made a little boo-boo over there. Okay, so Hot Wheels logo, and how little ones are calling. See, all right, and then we can go up and we can go File, Save a Copy, and JPEG. And I'm going to put that in Downloads too. What I'm going to do, I'm going to package this and send it to you in a Dropbox file or as an attachment to the email. All right. Thank you.